Welcome, Chloe. Been hearing some good things about you from Phil today. David, in the UK, we need...
Baby, the guys didn't let me pass with the water. Can you believe this? I needed to buy more water to add to the milk. Fucking idiots, man.
Yeah, I believe that 100%. When I went to take him abroad, and we had to cancel the holiday because he was on medication milk, and because it smelt nasty, so I wouldn't taste it. And because I wouldn't drink it myself, they wouldn't allow us on the plane, so I had to cancel the holiday.
I mean, that's simply ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. What happened to you? And the water was even sealed. They tested the milk because it's white powder. I understand that, and I told them, listen, man, I need this water. It's boiled water, and I need fresh water to make the milk for the baby. This is the 5th flight I'm taking in 2 weeks, 5th airport, and you guys are the only ones creating problems. Are you kidding me? And the guy didn't let us pass with the water, man. He forbid us. I was so pissed off. You have no idea, man. Horrible, horrible. And now I need to show, the passport in the UK. That was new. First time for everything.
It's totally screwed up. Right, so let's get started with recording. All right. So as many of you have seen, what I am going to do is I am going to post to the... it's really hard to find when we're injecting into the contracts. So when we're coming into an AMA and stating, well, this is 69% Ponzi reduced, well, where's the proof? Well, wait a minute, I did do the injection. Let me an hour to find it in the group, even though we go through the search, because there's been that many deposits, it's harder to find. So that's why we did an announcement channel where we'll put all the injections in this group as well as the announcement channel, but it's a lot easier to find in the announcement channel because nobody can talk in there. So that's where we are at the moment. The cake had a huge interest. And this is why we say Cake of Fortune is the daddy of all projects through the ecosystem, because it's getting injections from each and every platform afterwards. Once we get it to 0%, then we no longer need to start injecting it. We can just keep building on that interest, doing the 1-day compound and the 6 days rollover. So then that injects back into the contract. That 221 days is only 6 days of interest, not 7. Because I do a 1-day compound, the other 6 days are rolling over. When that happens, then we can, once Caustic Elk is actually in front, the elk will become 0% before Cake of Fortune. What's helped with that is because it's BUSD that I'm using to build the syrup pools on the elk, and elk has dropped a little bit in price. So we're getting more and more elk with the BUSD. So that's made that up to 84%, I think I put. I had it all wrote down, but I put it in bin after I'd posted it. Let me just get it up. So I know I like to have straight facts. Yeah, so 84% reduced Ponzi on Elk of Fortune, and we are 69% on Cake of Fortune. Now, last week was 50%. So that's a 19% increase for reducing that Ponzinomics in the Cake of Fortune. We have had some new injections into Cake of Fortune. We haven't with Elk of Fortune, but after the AMA, I will be turning on the lottery system for the Elk of Fortune for the highest depositor and the compound feature. So that'll be the way of earning more and more miners through the Elk of Fortune. So we're going to start pumping that out, because when that becomes a 0%, people are going to get more and more interested in it. Yes, after, say, if we get another 12, 13 people interested in it and start injecting into it, that reduced Ponzi will start building behind. So we will need to do at least 1 or 2 weeks extra with the injections of the interest going into Elk of Fortune. Excuse me. So then once that happens, we can then use that Elk of Fortune interest, what's come from the Farmer Fortune, where we put 0.5% of the total deposit deposits each week into Alka Fortune. We don't need to do that. We can put it all back into Cake Fortune, making 2 miners in the whole ecosystem a 0% Ponzi. Now, I know Zamba's also doing the same with USDT. Once we get the 2 of the first original ones, I will be helping Zamba also to make the USDT. Even on his own, we have built it into the Fortune Hunters ecosystem. So we then will have 3 miners that will be 0%. Then once we reach the 200 days, we will then have a farm and 3 miners as 0% Ponzi. I have also been messaging Binance, not with CZ himself, it's Binance, one of their marketing directors. Once we get to 200 days and they see what we've done and we can prove what we have done and prove that we've got extra locked in the contract, what people can't touch, they will gladly do a live interview with us. But I have to get to that 200 days. So we're still talking next year before that happens. But I will still be doing daily, every other day, if I'm not too busy, updates on the interest. Now, a lot of people have been saying with the pancake swap syrup pools is only like 30% APR. And yes, it is. The dev pools are a lot more higher. But at the moment, Grizzly Finance is a lot more higher than that. You're talking it's 0.7% a day I'm earning just on Grizzly Finance. But on top of that, there is the compound interest on top. So every time I'm compounding, it's going back into that pool, which is increasing that pool price. As you've seen, there was 8 BNB Farmer Fortune the other day. That was only a slight amount of the interest that's occurred so far. With us, we didn't have to put that in. We don't have to put anything in for at least another 10 days. We can do constant compounding for the next 10 days and then think about the injections back in. I thought of doing, because that I wanted you to have a peace of mind so that you've seen one second, Darkside. So once that injection's coming back into the platform, it's giving you that peace of mind so you can actually see that there is interest coming back in. We have over $58,000 in syrup pools. That's not just one syrup pool. We're on 3 different syrup pools. I put 1 BNB into USDT automated yesterday. Like I say, anything high risk, I'll only ever risk 1 BNB. That 1 BNB I can ease need be. So we get that done, and at the moment, we out of that 1 BNB invested, I used it as a referral to myself. Plus, there was $2,500 referral who used my link through YouTube. So there is over 1 BNB already incurred through interest. That's where I decided that I'll risk 1 BNB. I put there. So in actual fact, we've gained $272 basically overnight on one deposit from whoever used my referral link. So much appreciated for anyone that did use the referral link. I can guarantee you there will be over 400 BNB tonight. I know one person that is going to be injecting and doing a video for us, and they have been talking to him today through voice chat while I was at work, because I've been at work this morning. So yeah, there's definitely going to be 400 BNB today. I can guarantee you there's 10 BNB coming in. But they needed to be clear of how much I got in syrup pools. Yep, we're on the road. We are 3 days in front of the estimate with Nelson before we even launched and went through on what we needed to get each day. We are 3 days ahead of that. So we get a bit further down the line, we can use that marketing funds for then, and only then that we need it. Using the marketing funds now, there's more coming by word of mouth and what people are seeing than what would come by doing a banner here and a banner there. We've got 3 different projects that are wanting to put our banners up and are happy to do so. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, it's Bobby's back time. So Richie's video as well. One once we break over 400 BNB, he will be doing a large deposit as well. So yeah, reinvestment does play a huge part because it gives us that extra couple of days for compounding, which will increase the more BNB. Once we get past 90 days, what I can guarantee you we will work out. We'll show you exactly what's worth. Best though is if you want to do opposite weeks. Because I don't expect you to keep reinvesting every single time, every single 5 days. I've got one whale that's in, and they've got 46 BNB. And he's been messaging me and he says, would it be fine to withdraw for the first 30 days and then compound for 30 days? And I've agreed. I've said, yeah, that is what you're comfortable with. We don't force you to do anything. It's got to be on your terms. It's basically like doing your own research. You've got to be comfortable in doing what you're going to do. So if you're wanting to withdraw every time, that's fine. It's entirely your choice. Once you get to 90 days, there's a couple of people that have basically said, no, we don't think it's going to happen. And then once it gets to 90 days and we prove how much is left to pay out to everyone and how much we've actually incurred, then the FOMO is going to kick in. And are they going to be too late? No, they're not, because we can go 2 or 3 rounds of the 200 days. And it could go on forever if we wanted to. It's me making sure I've got enough time to keep doing it. Because what we've got coming after the new year, well, February time, we're talking minimum. And that's when we're only going to start doing the development side of it. We're not doing nothing until February. Nothing else will come out. No other networks and nothing. It will just be what we've got now. Now wanting to make sure we have 3 miners that are 0% pond. We bring out a next project. And we're well on the road to a 0% farm. Because when we get to that first 200 days and I can prove it to Binance, could you imagine the actual announcement that's made from Binance doing a live video chat showing all the facts, figures and everything? My computer is literally filled with figures of people withdraw, deposits. And as you all saw this morning, I go through everybody's wallet with Cake of Fortune to make sure I've got the facts of how many people have ROI'd in it. And it wasn't until Nelson said, well, wait a minute, I know an easier way. I'm like, well, it took me a full day to do this. But that's the time I take to put into the Fortune Hunters. It's an ecosystem that we built as part of a team. And I'm wanting it to succeed. It's not the fact that, yeah, it's definitely going to succeed. I'm wanting it to succeed. And we're pushing it and we're pushing it and we're pushing it. And we're speaking to people. There's many different people wanting AMAs now. Some are saying they're wanting paid. We are not going to go for paid AMAs at the moment because every single person that has done a video has not been paid. Every single person that has done an AMA so far has not been paid. And if we're going to use any marketing, I'd rather appreciate what they've done so far and give them some money, whether it's to themselves or to a charity or anything they want to do, but it's got to be for them. Sorry, the chat's going absolute crazy. Yeah, so there's been nothing paid for at the moment through YouTube or AMAs. The ads did really well, what I did. I got roughly 17 investments from the ads, which covered the marketing fee that was paid to it. The downside is a few people won't put ads up because of the 50% being reduced from the TBL. We have to prove a lot. So once we get past that, then we can basically say, yeah, we can do this. We really can. Now, like I said, this is a dangerous platform because of what's in the code and I've had to do it visible code because of all the FUD that came about me before. We didn't want it visible code. We wanted it like Alka Fortune, where it was hidden, because in the wrong hands, it can be very dangerous. So if you ever see a farm like what we built, and just do your own research. Me personally, I wouldn't invest if it's some Tom, Dick and Harry that we've never seen before, but they've got a really good marketing campaign and they're spending hundreds of thousands on getting people. 9 times out of 10, those people that have got hundreds of thousands for marketing have probably rugged a project before. And that's where you got to start looking. what I will tell you is as well, please be careful what you're doing with other projects. Every single project at the moment, when you approve some USDT, BUSD, or anything like that, please make sure you click the bottom button and amount that you're actually investing. You can put one more than what it actually is, because you'll find if you only approve 100 BUSD, if the market, you know, it fluctuates like 0.0001, but if it fluctuates lower, then it won't let you put that full 100 BUSD. So always do like 101, but never do anything more, because a lot of people found out the hard way with the ape one. I can't remember what its actual name was, but they watched people when they were asleep. When they were asleep, they drained the whole wallet, and people lost thousands, just little thousands. Either it's been a really big amount of thousands. 1 minute. We're not the most trusted team. There's several trusted teams in the DeFi space, and we have basically, out of all the teams in the trusted DeFi space that I would call trusted DeFi space, we have at least one member from each one. So that's one thing good about the team. We've got something between all projects. As you all know, we support BUSD machine. A lot of people don't, because that had a lot of FUD as well. The FUD is unreal. And that FUD are the ones that basically, because they didn't listen to how the game plan was from version 1 and version 2, a lot of us lost on version 2. And that was simply because of a couple of stupid YouTubers. So there's different game plans. Yeah. I don't want to go into too much, because I'm not like that. And I want DeFi to be a better place, a safer place. And when all of us start pulling together, we become a community, not just fortune hunters. There's DeFi ecosystem. There's crop farm team. There's, what's the other one? I'll get it up. I've got it up on me. Yeah. Smart Cash Capital. We're all pulling together as part of a team, and you've got Richie, Man Machine. I've just built that. So we're all pulling as one, and when you pull as one, you listen to Richie's videos, and he speaks highly of me, and it's because we've helped each other. There's been a few projects, and when you get paid for a video, what investors have got to realize, when we get paid for a video, we get paid just to promote that video. We see what we see. And some YouTubers can't read code. So, and there's some code that I still can't read. And especially if it's React, I can't read React, because I just literally haven't got the time to go on, take the code, put it on a notepad, press enter to drop the space down to see what each line reads and everything else. I just haven't got the time to do anything like that. So, and it's not just code what's back end as well. You've got to look at the code in the front end, because the front end sometimes don't match up to the back end. So when you're reading a contract, yeah, it might be a legitimate contract, but the UI doesn't meet up with that. And that's what Fortune Hunters was all about to start off with. When we first built Fortune Hunters, I'd say, correct me if I'm wrong, Lucio Nelson, there must have been at least that month 100 rugs at minimum. Project after project after project, rugging. And not only me lost out, my community as well, because they was trusting me as a YouTuber for the projects I were promoting. And sometimes it's not always the influencer's fault. And this is why we always say do your own research as well, because there's sometimes we do miss stuff. We're only human. Some stuff can't be helped, but we built Fortune Hunters because we were sick of it. We were petrified of bringing anything up. And I asked, it was actually George I asked, and he says, look, I won't build it for you. You do it. I'll help you if you need help. We'll build a team, and we had a private group in back end and that we all had together. And we decided, look, this is going to be the Fortune Hunters team. The first project, Cake Fortune, I started on my own. Then Alka Fortune, I needed a bigger team. I couldn't do it on my own. We all pulled together, and then we built the USDT. I helped Zamba build that one. Yeah, really old, yeah. But yeah, we built it based on trust, but because I was just a YouTuber, Cake of Fortune never really did well. We only ever had $8,000 invested in the first place, and if you go on to Cake of Fortune now, there is, I think it's 5,600. Let me just quickly get it up, wherever it is. Right, so we have 1,276. Let me just work that one out. Oh. Yeah, so there's $5,588 in the contract. So it's dropped $3,000 in 7 months now. We're 7 months forward on Cake of Fortune. Exactly. So for a miner, that's only dropped $3,000. And we got a lot of FUD over that, saying it would die in, it was at its end, don't invest. And I was ready to give up. That was before we even brought Farmer Fortune. It had been planned for 5 months, Farmer Fortune, and I got some really heavy crap on top of me, and I was getting death threats because a mark was put on my head. And I did, I did, Lucio. I was at the last tether. When me personally, it bothered but didn't bother. But when it become to my family, that's a different question. That's making it more and more personal. And that's what made me at the point of nearly breaking. Now we are at the point of moving houses and stuff. So, but I wanted to get Farmer Fortune brought up. And I thought, I want to do it. And I really wanted to do it. And I came off YouTube I lasted a week without YouTube. And as you know, with my AMAs, they last literally forever. Not as long as Forex, but they do last forever. I like to go into great detail and make sure everyone understands everything and everything else. But we decided we're going to go ahead with it. And we delivered, we delivered it. We brought it out, and it got some right interest. There was 8 o'clock that come involved. And at that point, I was shaking. I was scared because I'd got a big platform that was interested. And I'm like, wow. And I thought it was down to George, one of the other team members. And he said, no, because it was not down to me. They're seen, they've listened to your AMAs, and they're really, really buzzing about it. They want to see if it actually happens, and they're willing to follow you. And just the group started growing and growing and growing. And 3 minutes to launch, I was papping myself at launch, let me tell you, because it was done. It would normally I set off the contract, so I basically make the first deposit into a contract with miners so that it reduces the ponzonomics of that miner to start off with. But because it was a farm, it was done by block timestamp, and I'm thinking, what if it goes wrong? I got literally, it was the biggest day of all with the amount of people in the AMA. I've never had that many people in one AMA for Fortune Hunters, and I was absolutely cacking my pants. And I was like, please just let me do a first deposit. Let me just try it out first, and then jump in. There's no late entry. It doesn't matter whether you got in late or anything. Just let me try it first and make sure everything went through. And it did. And that weight just lifted off my shoulders, and I was like, phew. And then after a couple of days, I was like, thanks to everyone that actually messaged me, private messaged me, and told me not to give up. Because I was ready to give up and just carry on as what I were normally doing with Cake Fortune, Alka Fortune, USDT, and just carry it on and just let them run down, and then just deposit everything back, what was in Pancake Swap and Elk Finance and everything else. We were ready to just put it all back in and let it go. And I never. And we built it. We built something, and we built it we've built something that we can officially say is built to last. We built an ecosystem, I'd say, based on trust, because if it wasn't for the trust of the first people getting in cake, which were people that followed me on YouTube, followed Amber on YouTube, and Lucio's friends, and there were a few others that come in, and then we started building it up from there. So I'm proud, and I'm proud of yous as a community, and so are all the team. We strive on the way yous work, and when we're at work, because we all are, even yourselves, you're all working during the day, and I work quite a lot at the moment because it's coming up to holiday season as well. So I will be working like 7 days a week again until after Christmas, and then we're basically selling. Well, the Gapper's selling the restaurant, and it's hard to answer everyone's questions. But then you understand that everybody, and I mean everybody, has listened to every single AMA and took it all in. Every single answer we've done, every single question we've answered, you've took everything in, and you've answered new people that has come into the group when we've not been available. Every single community member gives the new community, the new members, that trust in a project, because that community, not just an admin or anyone that's involved with the admin team or anyone involved in the team, it's the community that's answering the question. Yeah, we are a family. We are a family. Everyone thrives off each other. Yeah. It depends if you've got enough money, CT. But yeah. But what we're going to do is, everyone keeps saying about a meetup. Let's get to the 200 days. Let's do this live interview with Binance. And I tell you what, I will personally make a meet and greet day where we can all meet up and have a beer, because I certainly owe everyone in the team a beer, and a strong beer. And we'll make it. Yeah. I don't think it'll be big enough. And I don't think, seriously, you won't want all my kids running around you. Seriously. I come and hide upstairs. I go to work for a reason. But yeah. So has anyone got any questions? So I'll open it up to questions. If anyone's got anything to ask, please don't feel that you have to ask in the AMA. You can ask the questions in chat, and I will gladly answer any questions you have.
Man,
So
everyone, Dark Side here. Lucio is back in the building, and he's already insulting me. So it's so good to have him back. Craig, I think I speak for everyone and says that we're so blessed and grateful to you to have you running the project. It's fantastic. So basically, I was speaking to an investor, and I didn't know how to answer the dude, right? And it's about Farm of Fortune. So if I just pull up Farm of Fortune somewhere, where is it? And it was like, basically, you know, like the rewards are available between 5 and 7 days. Yeah.
yeah, that's
I don't know
right.
if you can hear me. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, so what this dude asked, and I didn't know how to answer him, which was like, he said, yeah, but what happens after those, when that window closes? Like, what happens to those rewards? Are they back, or do they remain unclaimed? Like, what happens?
Yeah, accumulation stops. So say if you, on the 7th day you have 0.1 BNB in your balance, it will just stay at 0.1 BNB. It won't accumulate anymore. So you're losing that interest for the extra couple of days that you haven't clicked your compound, or, well, it's no compound, it's withdraw and redeposit, or just withdrawing to your thing. And that's why we gave that 2-day window. Normal projects only give you basically 24 hours, but we as a community, and you all know, we all have jobs. We all go out for weekends. Lucio goes drinking on weekends, so he forgets to do stuff. But yeah, we had to give that extra 2 days for people. So if you've gone on holiday with family and you go on the Monday and you compounded just before you went, you don't want to be rushing back on that Sunday to make sure you've got within that 24 hours. So that's why we give that extra 24 hours on top. So you've got 48 hours. So you can do it on the Monday when you come back and do it that way. And you've relaxed and come back off your holidays. If you're going with your kids haven't done your heading that day, you've sent them off to school, like, yeah, kick up the bum. But yeah, you've got the extra 2 days. But you don't lose it, but you lose any interest on top of it.
Right. Okay. Okay. I get you.
Because imagine you let it go for 1 week and 7 days are up and you don't claim, and then you remember, oh, after 1 month or 2 months or maybe even 200 days later, hey, I once invested in Farm of Fortune. Let me just check how's that, and you find 1 point whatever it was that you had accumulated up to the 7th day there waiting for you, but you would have just wasted 193 days of
Right.
and whatever, and instead of getting 388%, which is the 400% minus the taxes, you would
Right.
just,
Yeah. So basically, that claim is effectively required in order to trigger the continuation of that person's plan, right?
Yeah, correct.
Just to make sure.
Your plan will carry on.
The plan will always carry on until the end of the term. But if you want to keep receiving the rewards that you are due to receive during the plan, you need to come in and claim them. Otherwise, you won't receive as much rewards as you would have.
Right. Okay.
Everyone that gets into plan 1 to 200 days is entitled to receive 400% over the deposited amount.
Mm-hmm.
But they need to claim every 4 or every 5 or every 7 days at most. If they don't, they won't receive those 400%. They'll receive less.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah. That answers my question. Yeah, nice one. Thanks, guys.
Because the rewards, that deposit, if you made the deposit into the plan 1 200 days, after 200 days, that deposit no longer is going to yield you anything. It's dead. It's over. That's one of the secrets of the farm, and why the farm will be so successful and so sustainable, is that no one gets paid over 200 days unless they are reinvesting. So yeah, you can come in and put 50 BNB in, and if you don't reinvest after 200 days, it's over. You're not getting anything else from here.
So okay, right. So just to be a pain in the ass, like Lucio said, right. So let's say somebody puts in 10 BNB, right, and they put 10 BNB and they don't check it until 200 days is up. What will they find when they look at the
accumulated 7 days worth?
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Perfect. Yeah.
So
the plan always carries on. The plan always carries on because each plan, when you click deposit, it's not done like a normal contract where you just deposit and then so on. Because there is a time on it, it is used the block timestamp. So when you press deposit, it time block stamps when you press deposit. So then your 200 days start from that block, and then for another 200 days blocks. And then once that block ends, when your timestamp ends, that is it. It's over. And that's why you've got to do it within them 7 days. We was going to do it, like we said, we was going to do it for the lockup of 200 days or 90 days or 150 days. But it did upset a lot of people having it locked up that long. And because I didn't have that much of a trust with new investors and stuff, we didn't expect it. So we dropped it to 10 days, and then we still had a few people messaging. So we dropped it to a maximum of 7 days, because then that is the minimum we could have done, so that the withdrawal fee wouldn't overtake what they could actually withdraw within the 7 days. And that's why we had to do it a minimum of basically 5 days to 7 days.
Yeah, perfect. That's lovely. Thanks, bro. Thanks, sure.
Any other questions? Oh yeah, and the 5k that I put in stable fund is earning now 0.5 BNB each day into the contract. The 5k remains mine because it's my personal money. Well, plus the compound interest as well. But the 0.5 every single day is for Farmer Fortune, which I did state from day one. That I'd do that out of my own pocket, not out of any of the Farmer Fortunes. Then if it's lost, it's my loss, not your loss, because it's your investment.
Craig, did you say you was going to drop some alpha, or did I imagine that?
That was the Binance.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So just go over that again then. Like they say, basically,
once we get to 200 days, and every day I have to note how many people withdraw, how many new deposits, and put it on a fact sheet. But I may, seeing as how Nelson knows how to do this a lot easier, I may let Nelson do that. And when we get to 200 days and we can prove it to Binance, they will do a live chat through their channel. But they have to first approve it by CZ, obviously, because Binance is owned by CZ. And, well, all of the CZ, should I say. So once we do that, then we'll have a live, basically, they call it an interview. We call it an AMA. I don't know if it'd be through Telegram or not. I am not 100% sure yet, but we have to wait until like 200 days. So that's not for now. That's for basically next year, but I will keep everyone updated and keep pestering them at me time, but not pestering them too much because I don't want them to basically go off the idea. We are looking for partnerships as well. And Rich has already offered the collab wheels. So that's a bonus as well. Yeah, I didn't know until I watched his video. And he said he's going to be in collab partnership with us. And I think it helped as well. I got him and Nelson in touch with each other, and he's now Nelson's now the official writer for Richie as well. So there's something for you all as well. So you got another member of the team that's with another high class YouTuber. Oh yeah, I need to do the poll as well for the video, so I will do that as well once we get off of this. And I've started the lottery on Alka Fortune, so once we've done that, I will get the poll up for the YouTubers for that 1 BNB win. I think there were 7 videos. I need to go through it properly and make sure it was about 7 videos. I think it was, not including mine, because I'm not including any of mine. Marketing for Cake Fortune, Alka Fortune. Basically, Cake Fortune and Alka Fortune, people outside, when they hear about a miner that's been going for 7 months, they won't join. So when they join Farmer Fortune and they see the injections going into Cake Fortune, Alka Fortune, and see it becomes a 0% Ponzi, there's the marketing on its own. So that's one way of bringing investments in. We aren't specifically worried about getting new investors or not getting new investors. It's whether people in this group are wanting to keep earning a passive income. As you all know, it's a passive income. It will be a passive income play, and there's no time lock in it. So you can withdraw every day if you want, or you can do 1 day withdraw, 1 day compound, or even compound 6 days and 1 day withdraw. It's entirely your choice. It did go down to start off with, like we said, we was worried at the start. We thought we might have to do a version 2, but we did it. We managed it, and we've managed to keep it going. And to build it up from being basically a 100% Ponzi to a 69% reduced Ponzi, and now start off with, like we said, we was worried. So to reduce it by 69% Ponzi at this point, 7 months into the platform, is amazing. Now, that will show all along for new investors that even if we did no more interest or compounding and we just kept it at 69% reduced, it got to basically about 2% from what they invest from today. So everyone's got the Combat. Is it Combat? Let me just quickly go down and make sure I'm pronouncing it right. Crypto Cult Bot. All you do is you / cake a fortune in one word, no spaces, and then do a space and put your own wallet address, and it'll tell you how much your ROI, how much you're getting daily. Now, to increase that daily, like I said, to beat a miner, withdraw, redeposit back into the miner. That will give you more miners than what it would do if you compounded. What bot? NFT Hunt, if you are in the voice chat, when we don't do anything like that, you can message me all you like. Like I said, nobody has been paid for a video or promotion, so I wouldn't go out and use funds where we have got loyal YouTubers and loyal writers and everything else that have come with the project, because it's built for the community, by the community, and we've listened to everything what people want, and we've implemented them into the next project. We built it for the community. So why would I go spending all of the marketing money for one YouTuber when we've had 12 YouTubers do a video and we've not had to pay them a penny? So unfortunately, you're out of luck.
Mind if I could take over and answer the question on the chat now, Craig?
Yeah, of course you can, yeah.
Yeah, Wedney, I'm not sure if you're in the chat, but the way that the 50% will overcome what's needed to pay, the thing that you need to understand and people need to see, it's the big picture. We don't need the pools to earn us 2% every day. We just need time. And once you understand how compounded interest works, and no, we will not need to get 4%. That is false, because you need to understand how compounded interest works. If you are compounding daily, and Craig is compounding over compounding, he's actually some days he's compounding more than once a day. And you've been in DeFi, and you know that when you have someone that is compounding every day and someone that is not compounding every day, the person that is compounding daily will eventually overtake the person that's not compounding. And that's why there is a limit of 5 days where people cannot add anything else unless they bring in fresh money to the project. So during those 5 days, which is the minimum, you are getting 9.7%. That's 10% minus taxes. Will get you 9.7%. While us, or Craig in this case, by compounding daily, will actually be getting more. So it's just a matter of time before the amount that is in the zero pools is more than the amount in the deposits. Now we have, Craig will tell us how much we have in the zero pools, but should be around 200 BNB, which is more than we have those 50%. Because if we had those 50% of deposits, we have 394. We should have just short of 200 BNB in the pools from the 50% coming from the deposits. But we have over 50% already because it's piling up as Craig keeps compounding. So that bag is growing by itself, and it will eventually be more in there than it is in deposits. So if you have 500 invested and you have 1,000 invested in the pools, you already have twice as much in the pools than the amount you have in deposits. If you are gaining 1% per day in the zero pools over 1,000 BNB, you are getting 10 BNB every day. If you are paying 2% over 500, which is what we have in deposits, let's imagine this, you have to pay 10 BNB per day, and you are getting 10 BNB in the pools, still earning less a percentage than the 2% that we pay.
Yeah, so in the syrup pools alone, there's over $58,000. Well over half of the contract. Also, with my personal investment in stable fund, which is earning 0.5 BNB per day. So that's an extra, $135 a day extra interest for free. That's out of goodness of what I would do. It's my risk. I didn't want to risk your funds. Now, after the 26th and whatever comes, there might be this new trading bot what's come out at 2% a day. Now, as long as everything's good, like I said, it's high risk and I don't want to do anything at this precise moment. That's why I've only risked 1 BNB. I can cover that myself. If I could trust anything like that, a bot, people say, why don't you use a bot? I don't trust a bot for a simple fact of bots can go wrong. Bots can stop. If you haven't updated that bot, it will just stop, and then you could lose like 3 days if you're not checking up on it. And not only that, you could also lose a lot of funds. So I don't want to risk too much. Now, once we get to the point of earning over 2% a day, then I will put a poll to yourselves and say, would you like to put some more in some high risk? I was open and honest with you all last week's AMA. I did 1 BNB in a Genesis pool. Now, I don't know if I actually mentioned it in chat. It doubled in 14 hours and I pulled out. I didn't want to risk it any longer because we all know what happens with Genesis pools when it comes to the time of boardroom opening. Everyone dumps. Well, I pulled out at a good time because literally 2 hours later, that dev rugged. So that could have been that 1 BNB gone. But instead, I got 2 BNB back. And people say it's because you're not greedy. It's not. I risked it, and I was risking it because I knew I could pay it back into the contract if need be. And I know how these Genesis pools work, and I know when is the best time to pull out. I could have pulled out a little bit earlier and got a bit extra, but I missed it because I was like making a coffee and I had a break and I had something to eat and I come back and it could have got like 2.5 BNB. So it were only half BNB less, but in my eyes, we'd earn 1 more BNB for free to go back into the platform. So that's me, and that's because it panics me because your funds are in my hands and I'm basically playing with your money. So that's why we go for the lower risk, which is syrup pools and like Toon Finance and Grizzly Finance, where they are low APRs, but accumulated with the compounding does become a lot higher, but it does take a little bit of time. And we had a set day to have a certain percentage by. At today's date, we are 1.53% a day interest, which is being compounded. And then we need to get to an average of 1.8 BNB. That will cover everyone up until the 200 days. Once we get to 1.8, that covers everyone for the 1.5% plans, which is the 90-day plan and the 150-day plan, which then we've got 0.3 BNB, 0.3% for the 2%, which covers that 2% payout. But then if we increase it even more, we've got some funds to play with that whichever platform you choose. So we give you the vote on where we put some funds, which is slightly high. I do not want something that's like 50% a day. That is something that is too risky. I know how them platforms work. They don't even last a week. So with what you've seen my videos and you've seen the amount of tabs I have open. I have literally 73 tabs open on my Chrome at the moment. And that's what I'm working with each and every single day. I'm going through platform to platform, and I'm looking at which is the highest APR, which one I can earn that extra one, but it's not risky, where I can pull the funds out. I know I can earn that interest that's going to cover what the fees is. So you've got Beefy Finance, that is 0% deposit fee. Grizzly Finance is 1% deposit fee. So when I put it into Grizzly Finance, I've got to leave it in there for a little bit to make sure I get that 1% back and then cover over the top of that 1%. So it's a lot of work and a lot of hours, and it's me personally that's covering all the gas fees. So there's that as well. And some of these platforms, when you deposit into, like Grizzly Finance, is 0.01 BNB every time you deposit. So, and that's me personally, that's covering that BNB deposit and me covering the taxes that need to be paid at the end of the year. Because if you did it yourselves, because of all the different going in a platform, coming out of platform, compounding here, withdrawing, depositing, you know yourselves when you're paying your taxes, it's a lot of money and I've got to cover them. And that's what I'm going to be doing at the end of the year. But with the publicity that we'll get by the end of the year, because, well, not by the end of this year, but obviously next year, that the amount of people that want to cover us and we can start doing stuff and making that money back. So it'll cover all the taxes. So no, there's no need for that. I did this because I wanted to prove it can be done. And with that, I'm happy to pay them gas fees. I make the gas fees back in other platforms. Trust me, I do. And I don't use referrals. The referrals normally get compounded back into platforms. You look at any of my videos and you've got BUSD machine compounded back in platform. You've got the Smart Cash Capital compounded back into the platform. You've got the, what's the other one? Richie's Man Miner compounded back into platform. Animal Farm, they got compounded into the platform. What's the other ones? I mean, BNB Miner, the original, the referrals got compounded back in there. And the way I see it is what I'm compounding back into the platform, I'm earning off of that. So I'm actually earning off of that interest, what's occurred from there, rather than just taking one payment. And as you can understand, the BNB Miner has been the best pay for me at the moment because it's like 577 days and I got in it at the start. So I've been earning ever since day one. So yeah. It does seem almost too good to be true. Like I say, 5 months. It's not been yesterday we thought of it, next week we're bringing it out. When we brought out Alka Fortune and it was a successful launch and we started building on it, we got the lottery feature going and more people were coming in it. We knew it couldn't last on its own, so we had to think of something else. And at that time, unfortunately, Crops Farmer ended the contract. The contract ended, normal people withdrawing, absolute normal way of ending it. But I'm thinking, can we do something different? So I went into George's messages and I said, look, I want to see, would it be okay with you if I forked the crops farm, but I want to make some changes in it? And he says, well, yeah, what do you mean? He goes, there's no farm that can last. And I says, well, that's what I want to try and change. I want, Fortune Hunters is built on rehypothecation. We'll change it to mirror pools because nobody can spell that. And thanks to Richie, he said, use mirror pools. It's easier on the mouth. So we can build them mirror pools and basically make it a little bit better. And then we looked into the contract. We didn't just look over it. And for a full month, we were putting down facts and figures and we're thinking, I can't make it a 0%. What is the problem? And it took literally a month to find out on every single farm that is built, whether it's got an auto compounder or you compound yourself, the compound should not be on a farm. Farms with compound are what kills it because the whales take everything. Because when they compound, it's not like you compounding a tiny little bit. They're compounding like 12 B&B, 13 B&B. So it kills the contract. And that's why I said I want to remove it. So I removed the compound feature. But we didn't have a reinvest function. So when you withdrew it, that were it. At the end of the platform, we were going to do the 200 days. And then we thought, well, wait a minute, people do want a compound into the platform. So we said, look, we'll do it, but we've got to do it as a withdrawal and then redeposit. So then when you redeposit, it gives us that extra 50% again. Because you're earning that extra 400%, we need that 50%, what you've just deposited, to earn that extra 400%. So whereas if you just compounded, we could not, no way, ever get to be able to do the 2% daily. You wouldn't even be able to do the 1.5% daily. It'd be literally 1.2% daily, which you wouldn't ROI, especially after 3% sustainability tax, which stays into the contract. So that's what we had to look at. It was really, really hard planned. Then we've thrash tested it, we've whale tested it. We've had whales in it. We've had one that's done 3 different wallets with 10 B&B in it to try and do it, see if it affects with the referrals. We've stress tested with the referrals, and that's why we say we're comfortable with 2%. We couldn't go any higher. We could have done, but it would have made it a lot harder and a lot less likely to get to the 200 days. And our plan as a team is to get that 200 days, so we can say officially we're the first ever farm that is a 0%. Because officially we can't say that now. We can only say reduce ponds and omics because that's what we're doing. Until we get to that 200 days, then we can officially say it. It does make it a little bit harder to scale up, but I'm on top of it. And that's why I said I can't bring anything else out in the meantime. Because if I bring anything else out, it's going to take me attention off a Farm of Fortune. And that's why I've got the team where Nelson's doing some AMAs now with me. You got Darkside helping me. You got Lucio helping. You got the whole team that's pulling together. Even the community are pulling together because I'm not as active in the group. And that's because I'm doing a lot behind the scenes. So I'm on top of it at the moment. And then once this gets going and I've got a full rigmarole and I don't have to keep changing from platform to platform because eventually they'll settle down. It's bad season, especially with bear market. Once we start getting a bull run, we're absolutely laughing because some of the stakes I've done in the syrup pools, like ETH, if that starts pumping, the B&B, what we'll be getting back, will could even treble. So there's that as well. So I hope that answers your question, Windini. And I apologise if I didn't say that right. I was formerly into BT's project. Yeah. BT's project, unfortunately, I were in that. I lost. lost a lot, and I think Lucio did as well. But they are building back up, and I'm in DGen chat, and I'm waiting for him to start. There is 2 people that's mentioned Farmer Fortune there at the moment, so I'm waiting for a few more to mention it. But I don't want too many people from there because they are drainers, and that's what I'm watching. I've got to watch out for the drainers that will just constantly just keep taking out, and it won't affect us, but it will reduce the amount of days we have to compound. So when we have, like at the moment, we're happy at the moment. We've got 53%, correct me if I'm wrong, Nelson, that are actually reinvesting. Now, that 53% gives us an extra few days. With all the extra new investments as well, gives us even more days. Yeah, go ahead.
I haven't checked this week, but last week, of the people that claimed, we had some 70% reinvesting. Those that did not reinvest was people that invested less than 1 BNB, and the amount that they are getting in interest is less than the minimum deposit amount, and that's why they are not reinvesting. But everyone that's in with more than 1 BNB pretty much is reinvesting at this moment. So yeah, people are understanding that by reinvesting, they will earn more and make the project more stable, more secure for everyone, and we will get to the 0% Ponzi faster. But yeah, last week we had some 73, 74% of everyone that claimed putting back in some. I haven't checked this week yet, but I will for my medium that's coming either tonight or tomorrow morning.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, it's similar to Stable Fund, but we have no mechanics that can pause a contract or remove it to another contract. Basically, all the hard work's done down to me, and it's done manually rather than a bot doing it. And then we can give visuals on. I can do screenshots. There's some of the pools I don't want to share it. Let me rephrase that, because it's not that I don't want to share them. There's a lot of people wanting us to fail, and they're wanting us to fail because of the videos they brought out about us. And if they know what we are invested in Pancake Swap or anything like that, there is impermanent loss in Pancake Swap syrup pools and other syrup pools. Now, if they get to know these tokens that will drop fairly quickly if dumped, they will dump them tokens. And that's something I don't want to risk with all of your funds. So happy to give out all facts and figures and everything else, do a graph of what we've got. We can get a graph done. The team, I can clearly show all them. Trust everyone at team. So some of the stuff we have to keep quiet a minute. Not quiet, but we have to be careful because there is a lot of people that want us to fail. And it's something I don't want us to fail with. Yeah, only till 200 days. Please let me catch up. I've got 50 comments. Yeah, so as you can see, like Nelson has said, 187 days to go. We are 13 days in and as stable as can be. And there's not, even we've already had the referrals taken out. So even with all them referrals taken out, there's not been a massive drop in any of the contract. If anything, we've actually bumped up on DAP radar. We was 48th position earlier on today, which is massive. Farmer Fortune being 48th position on DAP radar for the most interacted with contracts and everything else. So that's a massive, huge pump as well, because that radar is one of the hardest ones to actually get onto. Yeah, so as the graph shows there, that's all the investors that are coming in. And give me 1 second, I just need to share a video that's just been done. Let me just get up to it wherever it's just gone. Here we go. Let me share this to you. Please give a like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already on. That is from Crypto Phil. He's just done a live deposit into the contract. So there's more and more people getting involved, more and more people seeing where we are. And I went through in a, like I say, a voice chat with Phil today on what we've earned, where we're at. We, like I say, 1.53%. We only need to get 1.8%, but we're going to get more, because then we can do giveaways and everything. But you've got to be invested to be able to be involved in the giveaways, because it's your money as an investor that the giveaways will be for. So I wouldn't be giving it to someone that's not invested when that money hasn't accumulated anything, because they haven't got invested in the platform. If that makes any sense. I know it sounds a bit nasty, but you was invested in the platform in the first hand. We've earned extra interest, so it should go back to the investors. Any other questions? Now I've caught up with them all. It should connect via a VPN. Elk of Fortune, I think. Elk of Fortune was the one that did have problems with the VPN. Chloe had problems, but I think it got worked around. It's certain countries that do not allow dApps through the VPN. So if you go to UK or the USA, then it should be fine. But the Farm of Fortune not open with VPN. Mine does. Yeah, the Gleam. I'm thinking maybe I should take that away and just do a giveaway in chat. One second, right. Just curious, good. It could do, but not for me, because even though it will go over, the money will be locked into a contract. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll remove that Gleam, and then it should be okay. The Gleam has been iffy with everybody with VPN. So maybe that's the problem. It all depends on the countries. Some countries don't accept the Gleam. Cheers, bro. Yeah, go ahead, Dark Side.
And again, I don't know the answer to this. Is like, because at the moment it's 50-50 in the pools and 50-50 in the balance, isn't it?
No.
Not quite.
It's
Okay.
over 50% in the pools because the pools have the dividends added to it.
Right.
So
Why
you
is it?
have at the very least there will always for now be 50% in the pools, 50% of the deposits, but you need to add the dividends that those 50% are earning. So uh, it's
Okay.
over 50% and it will just keep on getting bigger and bigger, and then eventually will be 100% of the amount that's deposited in, and eventually will be 200%. And once we reach 200% in the pools over the amount that is in the deposits, we can may as well be earning just 1% per day. That will still be making more than enough to pay daily everyone at 2%.
Oh, okay. Because I was just thinking, while we're at the very, very early stages of the plans, like why, like would it be an idea to put like more that I don't know, like say 70% in the pool, so just to get a little bit of extra fat on the on the belly, if you know what I'm saying.
That could have been an option, but that would also leave the TVL at a lower amount, and
Mm.
it would mean that we would have to start taking from the pools faster to
Okay,
inject into
fair
the
enough.
contracts so that people
Yeah.
can claim. While
Mm.
if we keep it the way it is, it's balanced, and so people can claim, and we are gaining time to grow the cereal pools at the same time. And
Right.
eventually, the cereal pools will overtake the amount that is in the TVL by 2 times more, 3 times
Mm.
more, depending on how fast we can get there and how much Greg works on it, because Greg is the one doing all the heavy lifting on the pools to grow
Sure,
that.
sure. Okay, cool. Nice one. Thank you.
That's why we kept 50-50. It's not exactly 50-50 because you need to consider the support fee that goes to feed cake and